Ladies and gentlemen, forget what you thought you knew about Claressa Shields' flawless engagement. Under the glittering ring and joyful photos, there lurks a tsunami of betrayal, secret deals, and receipts so jumbled that they may ruin a whole career. The individual with those receipts was Papoose, and this time he's not holding back. For years, Papoose maintained a clean reputation by playing the submissive, silent character in the background. However, industry rumors suggest that the rapper has finally had enough of being presented as the inconsequential ex. It is said that he is getting ready to vent about everything, including Claressa and her beloved Fiancé. We're talking about secret money, suspicious late-night meetings, and sexy conversations that somehow went wrong, emails. According to Papoose, this is about more than just a failed romance. The plot centers on a calculated attempt to fire him from the company while keeping a fiancé's worst secrets hidden. When Papoose does pull the gun, the only issue that remains is whether Claressa's empire will survive. Or is this going to be a knockout that is much worse than anything she has ever seen in the ring? Ladies and gentlemen, put off your gloves. It's also not a friendly sparring match. It is a whole and utter dismantling in the court of public opinion. Papoose said nothing for months as gossip blogs and stories about Claressa Shields spread. However, he's now reversing the roles and tearing down the painstakingly manicured picture and eliminating receipts that may turn Claressa's tale of the affluent couple into a significant scandal if they are real. It starts with what insiders call the silent setup. A longtime public relations assistant who claims to have worked with both Papoose and Claressa's fiancé is one industry insider whom we'll call Tama. According to her, the conflict didn't begin after the breakup. Nope. Tamika says that before anyone recognized that Paradise was in jeopardy, this drama had been playing out for a long time. He was always there in the background. According to an anonymous blogger, Tamika shared, they seemed to embrace Papoose, but inadvertently, they would reschedule meetings he was supposed to attend. Calls would be made without him. It was as if someone was being slowly eliminated. According to Papoose, that eraser wasn't a coincidence. According to him, Claressa's fiancé had been surreptitiously attempting to access the connections Papoose had made over the years. Claressa's brand was allegedly being supported by promoters, media producers, and music contacts. But this is the point at which things become blatantly evil. Theft screenshots claim that Claressa's fiancé emailed a business associate to make sure Papoose's name was taken off of guest lists in closed group meetings. Oh no! To publicly deny the allegations, Claressa used cryptic Instagram notes that read, "I focus on winning, not whining, and you can't block blessings meant for me. If he's constantly in the picture, we can't build her empire." But behind the scenes, the situation is getting increasingly disgusting. Papoose's camp claims to have evidence, including email chains, call logs, and even an accidental voice memo that shows deliberate attempts to keep him out of events, performances, and interviews. One alleged example is a charity boxing match in Atlanta. Papoose claims that although he was invited months in advance, his spot was mysteriously given to, you guessed it, Claressa's fiancé. Not Claressa, the fiancé. Even worse, Papoose says he didn't know about the change in the schedule until photos from the event started to appear online. In response, the organizers acknowledged that they were told, "Papoose is not available, but we've got someone better." Claressa's fiancé is shown in the photos, smooching. Papoose had known them for almost a decade. According to another unidentified insider, Papoose tried, but whenever he expressed his views in private, they were invariably interpreted as envy or insecurity. You might be wondering, why didn't Papoose say something sooner? Before he was the ex at all, they portrayed him as the bitter ex. The insider claims that the story was already against him by the time the split was made public. However, this is where things get really tricky since it goes beyond social rejection or hurt feelings. If the charges are true, Claressa's fiancé might have gone too far and committed what is known as career sabotage, and that's what lawyers do. It has been reported that Papoose's legal team has been reviewing papers and correspondence to find out if they can sue for tortious interference, which is a fancy term for intentionally damaging someone's business relationships. Even though those cases are notoriously hard to win, Claressa's team can face a public relations nightmare just by filing. And this is being consumed by the internet. On Twitter, hashtags are fighting each other. Hashtag #PapScience, hashtag knockout drama, and the mercilessly inconsequential hashtag from rings to receipts. Even without alleged sabotage, TikTok creators are reenacting the alleged text messages, complete with dramatic background music and captions like "when your girl's man steals your career." However, some fans are skeptical, pointing out that Papoose's career hasn't exactly been booming in recent years. One comment that goes beyond 5,000 stake: "He's acting like he was headlining Madison Square Garden every weekend. Maybe he just fell off." But critics acknowledge, if the receipts are real, Claressa and her fiancé are in trouble. Not just trouble, but the kind of brand-destroying scandal that sponsors run from faster than a bad investment. Adding fuel to the fire, an unverified but juicy rumor claims that Claressa's fiancé has his own skeletons and that Papoose is holding back the dirtiest details for maximum impact. Allegedly, these bombshells involve questionable financial dealings, a side relationship that overlaps with his engagement, and one incident that could even have legal implications. The way Papoose sees it, according to his camp, this isn't about petty revenge. It's about self-defense. In a recent freestyle, Papoose said, "Yes." He dropped lines about it, adding, "I stayed silent while you crafted your story. It is now my turn. We'll see what you have. Truth in my palm, receipts in my pocket." A major sit-down interview that Papoose is reportedly negotiating with a top gossip channel is rumored to be the source of the real fight and the most juicy revelations, and if that happens, Claressa herself may have to answer some uncomfortable questions about what she knew and when she knew it. Time to show the world you're a fraudulent man. That clip alone received over 3 million views in less than 48 hours. This isn't just about a broken relationship though. It's about power, manipulation, and a struggle for industry dominance. And if what we're hearing about round 2 is true, the next chapter of this saga will make this seem like child's play. Here's where the plot takes a dramatic, soap opera level turn. Just when everyone thought Papoose's sit-down interview would be the main event, another leak surfaced online, this time from an anonymous Dropbox link posted on a dubious gossip forum at 2:00 am, titled simply "For Papoose." Within hours, videos and screenshots from the folder started circulating like wildfire, allegedly exposing private conversations between Claressa's fiancé and several industry contacts, some of which depicted him as a man who manipulates not only Papoose but also a number of other people in the same entertainment and sports circles. One particularly scathing screenshot showed an email exchange with a Miami promoter in which Claressa's fiancé wrote, "Papoose's reputation is done. You don't want to associate your brand with him, I promise. For the event, I can connect you with better names." What better names? The small statement quickly became a popular meme when Twitter users shared it. It isn't clear if it is a clever fake or real, but the public didn't care. The story was already unfolding itself. Papoose, meanwhile, said nothing about the leak, which was unusual because there were no mysterious Instagram stories, tweets, or even a freestyle verse. But something much more terrible was hidden deeper within the leak, an arrangement known as the Sponsorship Reallocation Agreement. Reddit users who identify as document analysts claim that the forum described how several endorsement arrangements that were first offered with Papoose in mind were changed to focus on Claressa and her fiancé's collaborative branding initiatives. Because in a controversy like this, words are often not as loud as quiet. The phone call came next. An audio recording allegedly taken during a heated argument between Claressa's fiancé and an unnamed associate surfaced on TikTok. The voice that internet detectives are 99% sure of is that of the fiancé, who says, "Papoose needs to understand that this is our time. I will ruin him if he interferes. No matter what, I'm not interested." That one sentence went viral on all the gossip blogs, including YouTube. Within 2 days, Hashtags like #ThisTime and #WillRuin were trending on all platforms. Naturally, Claressa's team sent a well-crafted statement in an effort to defend themselves, stating that Claressa Shields is totally focused on her forthcoming fights and brand collaborations. She is not involved in any alleged private matters pertaining to others. This means that we won't become involved in this. Being impartial during a dispute, however, has the drawback that both sides start to believe you are covertly against them. People close to Papoose claim that any trust he may have had in Claressa has evaporated. He believes that her silence is an admission of complicity. From here, it gets much juicier. An unverified report claims that Papoose has already arranged his own set of leaks, including direct talks between Claressa's fiancé and a woman who is only named as a prominent player in the sports world. Rumor has it that his engagement to Claressa is accompanied by these direct signals, which raise questions about a possible personal connection. Consider the headlines if that's the case. The People's Champion is caught up in a love triangle. Your script is the finest script there is. Meanwhile, fans are playing detective. Clever looks between Claressa's fiancé and anonymous women at public events are depicted in Twitter threads with over 40,000 likes that examine old press photos. TikTok is flooded with pictures of strangely timed trips, commentary, and side-by-side clothing comparisons. The worst part, though, is this. None of this speculation seems to worry Papoose. In fact, Papoose is holding his tongue because he knows his evidence is more than just petty drama, according to a buddy of a friend who gave information to a hip-hop podcast. The corporate world may be affected. In this sector, there are also business consequences. More resilient than any diss song, sponsors vanish. Contracts are revised. The invitations cease to arrive. Suddenly, none of your A-list connections pick up the phone. Papoose, according to insiders, takes a simple approach. For the moment, let the audience make fun of Claressa's fiancé, but when he offers his own proof, make sure it's something that sponsors won't be able to ignore. In spite of Claressa's best efforts to conceal them, this will guarantee that the financial repercussions are undeniable. However, there is a chance that bringing down Claressa's fiancé too much could hurt Claressa herself. Even Pat, who might not care as much about her personal life now, has to admit that damaging her public image could result in a strong backlash from her loyal fan base. Others, meanwhile, believe that's exactly what he desires: a complete takeover, with no survivors. The third portion of the story, the last round, might be the most brutal if that is the plan. Because of reports that Papoose has already secured a unique interview position on a well-known gossip YouTube channel. It's the kind of interview where they take out the laptop, examine never-before-seen evidence in real time, and watch as the internet crashes. If it happens, Claressa's fiancé will be sweating as well. Because the explosive radius is never confined to a single target in fights like this, the countdown to the purported final round officially started when rumors of the exclusive interview started to spread. There are rumors leaking from insiders. Indeed, the filming location has already been purchased, according to our own network. Each person in the room has a private studio, multiple camera angles, and a non-disclosure agreement. It has also been stated that Papoose is getting ready to enter with 2 laptops, one for the evidence and one as a backup in case there are any unanticipated technical difficulties. This is because nobody trusts the Wi-Fi during a battle like this. According to the leaked list of interview topics, it seems like the plot of a scandal-filled Netflix documentary. First, the disappearing opportunities, which included purported emails, call records, and screenshots of the calendar demonstrating that Claressa's fiancé frequently left Papoose out of events and endorsements. In the second episode, The Side Hustles, Papoose is allegedly going to present proof of undisclosed payments and backdoor sponsorship deals related to Claressa's business relationships. And in addition, everyone is already getting ready for the third segment, which is the other relationship. Indeed, you are right. There are speculations that the direct messages between the unidentified sports world official and Claressa's fiancé would be used in the finale. They are as damning as the rumors suggest, and it will be messy. It will have a nuclear consequence. Additionally, our informant claims that Papoose is dropping receipts. He is exposing timeframes, specific dates, and locations to connect them to Claressa's public appearances. The degree of detail that makes evasive denials ineffective. If those dots line up on screen, we're talking about a level of exposure that may harm two reputations at the same time and irreparably. At the moment, not just when Claressa is sitting in the corner is this taking place. Another source said her team is working feverishly to keep the story from being reported. Prior to Papoose's interview, they are reportedly considering publishing their own counter-story through a sympathetic media site, something that implies that he is sly, resentful, and attempting to blend in. But here's the difficult bit. Preventative damage control is currently not well tolerated by the public. The internet will see the terror if Claressa's version is out first. Additionally, terror never prevails in the arena of public opinion. Meanwhile, Claressa's fiancé has gone utterly insane. No social media material, no interviews, no public sightings. But he isn't benefiting from his absence. Indeed, TikTok detectives speculate more about his whereabouts and any hidden agendas the longer he stays silent. But some people are nervous behind the scenes. If Papoose's side projects expose questionable activities involving sponsors, companies, or event planners, for instance, the consequences will not stop with one relationship. Legal audits, partnership dissolutions, contract terminations, and the nuclear wild card are all conceivable. One post went viral, even making the joke, "This man is in witness protection, and the witness is Papoose." Brutal. We can't act like Papoose is a hero. Already, some are warning that this scorched earth tactic can backfire, as he could come across as spiteful rather than justified if he aims for maximum publicity. Others, however, argue that it is career suicide to allow someone to delete you without a fight in a game where your name is everything. A heat wave. Do you remember that tail name from earlier chapters? The sour industry person who allegedly holds a grudge against everyone. According to insiders, he has been closely monitoring the situation and is contemplating whether or not to get involved. The risks are significant. In a few months, Claressa will be fighting again in front of sponsors and fans, and everything she or her fiancé does before that interview could make the difference. Time is running out, the audience is waiting for the knockout punch, and the receipts are piled high. The real question is whether Papoose will land it cleanly or if the shrapnel will kill more than just his targeted target. This arena lacks officials and rings bells to break up fights, so when the lights go out, all that will be left are the headlines and their careers. Barry. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought this story was over, you were wrong. Because this could be the final vicious swing that leaves no one standing. Papoose has promised all of the receipts, and while her fiancé is either preparing his counterattack or trying to survive the knockout that is already underway, Claressa's camp is desperately trying to contain the damage. The evidence that Papoose is rumored to possess could completely change Claressa's connection and the lengths people will go to remove someone from a company they helped start. If even half of what insiders are speculating is true, we could be facing disclosures that end careers, lost sponsorships, shattered alliances, and broken legacies. We'll be right here breaking down every frame when those computers open in Papoose's big interview. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications if you want the next episode before the headlines catch up. This goes beyond mere theatrics. This is war, and it all could change with the next shot. Is Claressa truly an innocent person caught in the middle, or has she been a covert participant in the very plots that destroyed Papoose's career?